About 2.5 months ago, I sowed some daikon seeds, which I had purchased online, and they grew really well. The germination rate was almost 100%, and I have since transplanted the seedlings to the ground. And 2.5 months on, the plant is growing very, very well, very, very healthy, and growing in a spot which has morning and afternoon sun. It is very healthy. As you can see, the leaves are great. There are a few holes in the leaves, but generally very, very healthy, and growing very well. I'm expecting that in a month's time or so, we might actually see some daikon poking out of the ground. Finally, it's time to harvest this daikon. It's been in the ground for about 10 weeks, and the top of the daikon has already come out of the ground by about 4 or 5 cm. Now, I don't know how deep it goes, so it'll be interesting to see how well it's actually developed here in this patch here. So I've just harvested the daikon and just showing you this. It's not a bad size at all for 10 weeks in the ground. It's quite long, and we're going to pickle this because this is really good for pickling. So I'll show you that in a little bit. I just want to show you that it's not just the radish that I keep for pickling, it's also the leaves, so nothing goes to waste. I've washed the leaves and daikon now, and just leaving it in the sun to dry out a little bit. With the leaves, you have to dry it out so that it's a little bit wilted before we can do anything with it. What you do with the daikon is to shred it lengthwise into little shreds. Once all the daikon is shredded, add a couple of spoons of salt to it and mix it all and make sure you get it into all the shreds. Within minutes, you will notice that the salt has extracted the liquid out of the daikon, and there will be liquid at the bottom of the bowl. Next, pour boiling water over the shredded daikon. Make sure you fill it up to the top. Leave it for a couple of minutes and then drain it. Make sure that you squeeze all of the water out of the shredded daikon. In the meantime, make a pickling juice of 2 cups of water, 1 cup of white vinegar, and a large tablespoon of white sugar. Put this over the stove and cook it until the sugar is dissolved and it's almost boiling. Then pour that pickling juice over the daikon, and as long as it's covered, and that's all good. Now you have just made a very quick pickle of daikon. Next, we'll make a pickle of the daikon leaves. So put salt on the leaves, make sure you work the salt into the leaves, and then leave it in the sun for it to dry out a little bit. You will notice that after about an hour or two, the leaves would have changed into a deeper color, and that's when you can take it out. Now you can see that the color of the leaves have turned a deep green, and this is when you can cut it into smaller pieces. squeeze out all of the juice, chuck the juice away, and then pour boiling water over the radish leaves, and make sure you cover all of it. Leave it for a couple of minutes and then drain it away, and make sure that you squeeze out all of the water from the leaves, because what you want is not for the leaves to be watery but to be quite dry. And once the water has been squeezed out of it, add a couple of spoons, tablespoons of white sugar, and then a couple of tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. Just then mix it all through, and to make sure all of the leaves are coated. And then finally, once that is all mixed in, make sure that you just add a bit of salt in there, and again mix it all through. Once all that is done, you can put that into a sterilized jar, and the pickle is ready. But the difference is that this pickle can't be eaten right away, and it has to be put away for a few days. So here you go, 2 different pickles from the one daikon plant. Give it a go.